Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, let's talk about this architecture going forward and just from the last few months what I've gone through. I remember I've been at this for a good couple of years, learning math, learning trading, learning the industry, learning coding, blah, 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 blah. It's not an easy journey. Back in December 2014, looks like December 9th, create this video, this blog, this set of notes, and it was kind of a little crazy. These are just ideas. I'm going to create another one for you today, just free-flowing, but essentially this is what I was looking at. MongoDB, Cassandra, NoSQL for a live database, and then using Java, IB, Interactive Brokers Window, or Dukas Copy as a broker, using iKeyFeed as a potential database provider or a database data provider from the markets going into one of these databases, and using Java. So we'd have two databases in parallel into a SQL server. And it also fed into an Erlang server as well. And then we have all our production stuff going for the client, which is where all your trading takes place and all your windows for charting. So that was a more complicated way. So coming back to this, I made a simpler one, which looked like this. It's a little easier. But essentially, it still gets kind of crazy. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so let's talk about what we're doing now, being in March, 3 months later. Alright, so I've pretty well decided on what tools I want. I've got my simulator exchange, which is really important to generate data. Now, from there, that's in Java. It's all open source. So forgive me, I'm new to this software. What I'm just trying out here. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is with this database server is we're going to create basically two connections. Let me just get rid of that. This really should be this one. Alright, so let me just connect this guy. As I said, I've never used this before, so bear with me. I'm really new to all this, I guess you could tell. Guess doesn't matter. Oh well. This should be in. This is definitely in reverse. This is bad. I am. All right. So let me try this again. All right. So that's our arrow. Yay. Okay. I'm sorry to be wasting your time here. I'm so professional. Alright, so we have a simulator. We're going to be sending data into a database. Now this database, oddly enough, it's going to be just basically a database. Now this database is going to be obviously ticks, orders, and other market data. Okay, again, because I have source code from the Java system, I can pretty well do whatever I want with it. Now the question is this database going to be SQL Server or Postgres? Those are my preferred databases right now. I'm probably leaning towards SQL Server, just due to the fact that you can get some really good analytics out of that, just alone from the data. The Studio, Management Studio is pretty good for this. We don't care about high speed and all that. This is for development, testing, having data to work with, and being able to generate our own data from this simulator. And then from there, we just want a place to house it. But there's going to be two connections actually, and this is where probably my struggle has always been. Let's see if I can. Who cares? Hey, all right. So let me create another. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna have two connections coming out of this. Draw it down here, something like that. So basically, we have a database of data going into this. Now, this is just for fault tolerance. So whatever connects into any of these and it dies, well, you can always resort to the database. So this piece here is going to be a message bus. Okay, usually I've looked at quite a few. 0MQ is the preferred way. This thing can talk to C#, Java, which is pretty well the language I'll be focusing on. Okay, so there's going to be a bus running from this Exchange simulator, right? So with that in mind, we got some components that are going to use this database or queue. Now the first one, let me just think of what we can use here. I'm done flow charting a while. Let's use basic rectangle. All right. So what we have here is, I'm going to call this visualization or charting. Golly gee. Okay, visualization, charting. Now, this is where the .NET comes in. Now, I've looked at open source stuff. It's not bad, but when you look at what I've seen for charting in .NET using WPF, Windows Presentation Foundation, there's some very cool libraries. Expensive as well, but they're worth using. All right, so the first one I've gone on about is Infragistics. Infragistics. And another one that's very fast and very impressive for more 3D type of and very fast is lightning charts. So I'm not going to say anything further on that. But the cool thing is with Infragistics, have you seen the demo app for the financial trading application? Here you can put things like news, communication from a database into this as a front end. I've always envisioned that. Lightning charts more as a nice to have for very slick looking 3D charts, your virtual reality or bordering virtual reality. Very powerful front end. Now these can be used as I said, a front end. Now the queue will feed into that, and or the database will feed into that as well. Boy, oh boy. I'm very bad at charting. I apologize. Let me just do another connection here. Alrighty, so we're going to put that here. Alrighty, okay, so that's the basic stuff. So I have to build this, get these all talking to each other. So basically we have a simulator being fed into a database, and we have our visualization and charting, right? So out of that, we still have to worry about things like basically pricing, position management, risk management. I'm going to call this position management for now. This probably is going to be trade manager. I've talked about this quite a bit in the last few months, which is Java. It's open source again. So basically that's going to sit out here, but there's got to be something in between here that will have it do strategies, or sorry, to execute trades, and as well manage those positions. But this is probably a good front end for that. So obviously we need another connection from this database. Jesus. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Alright, so that's kind of important, obviously. Now, there's going to be something in there that needs to decide on how to do strategies. Now, I think there's a lot of people have a lot of questions on is how do we do that? Well, we have a number of choices. We have the languages. Let me just say we have Python, R, MATLAB. Do all that fun stuff, right? So, okay. Those are our choices. I use MATLAB. We're not going to talk about why I use MATLAB versus the other ones. But let's just say, let me draw a line here. This is really important because there's numerous ways we could do this. So this is some kind of MATLAB algorithm, strategy, or something. We'll just leave it at that. So we'll just say MATLAB algo strategy or model. Okay. And that sits right up here. Now, if you haven't seen my videos on how all the various options that come with MATLAB and how you can use MATLAB to use this sort of as a filter before you get into a trading position, some kind of position, and manage it. So that's what MATLAB's used for. Okay, and there's numerous ways you can do it. You can just build a basic algorithm, feed it into a Java jar file, and have Trade Manager work with it to be able to figure out all the different strategies. So all the strategy intelligence would go into this application. But there's a lot more tools that we can use between the Trade Manager, the database, and MATLAB. There's so many options we have, and I'm going to list them out. So let's do that. Now, what can we use MATLAB for? Okay, so for MATLAB, we can use it for risk management, portfolio optimization, and again, with risk management portfolio optimization, we can have it work in conjunction with the Trade Manager, right? Not only that, but we are going to use it for just straight up calculating any kind of filter or indicator. So we can use that, as I said, as an indicator, as a trigger, or whatever we want to work with between the database and our Trade Manager, right? So there's different market events that we could use, okay? Now on top of that, because we're using the thank you. We're using this queue. I'll just take it all the way down here. Now, this is an important queue because now all our components can talk to this queue. If it's through Trade Manager, we'll get access to it via Java talking to Java. On top of that, we can also feed in MATLAB pieces that can talk to that Java. Okay, so this right here is a complete basic system. Let me just reiterate what this is. 0 MQ message queue. Alrighty. So, I'm hoping people are following along, so I'm doing this diagram. So this queue can be fed into here, into something else that we build. And we can also feed it right into the charting as well. So what we can have is we can have in ZeroQ using publisher, subscriber models, using that pattern. So this is essentially the complete system. Now at the other end of it, we need this to talk to something to be able to send orders to. So typically right now at the beginning, just to keep everything all simple, let's say Interactive Brokers is my broker. Interactive Brokers for execution, for trading, execution, or just put it order management, trading orders. Okay, so this guy, the way it's built currently, this will man, can't even make general. Okay, so we're going to connect this guy to that guy. Alright. Alright, so these guys can now talk to one another from the positions. We know we want to open a position, put it through to the Interactive Brokers. Many options here. We have the TWS, Trader Workstation, or Fix, but there's really no advantage using that. So that's one broker that I'm looking at. Another broker we're looking at is Oanda. Okay, but hold on, I just thought of something here. You can tell I'm a professional. Let's call it order management for execution. So this is going to get kind of confusing now, as you'll see in a minute. You can see we have our simulator feeding into our position management. What I should mention is we should take out what the development and trading and development stops there. That's the development and testing environment. That's as far as we go, because we have our trading environment and we're using this simulator to simulate our data and to test our trading ideas, models, strategy, whatever, and have a position management, and then assume that we can execute in the perfect world. But we now have this, so now we're adding in our live trading brokers. Oanda and Interactive Brokers are probably the top two right now that I'm looking at. And where does these simulators drop off? Well, in a way, you can do this, right? Let's see if I can copy this to the side here. Okay, cool. So instead, this is now for live trading, what I'm about to do. So what we're doing here is for live, we have live data coming in. Now we have a number of choices that we could use. I've got IQ feed that I've used and have used, affordable and good. I just mentioned earlier this week barchart.com, maybe a potential. I don't know the pricing yet. And of course we have Oanda and interactive brokers as a data feed. Okay, so knowing that, these can be any languages we want. Okay, so we could be Java, .NET, bar chart's the same, Oanda's the same somewhat, interactive brokers is the same, right? So that's how I'm looking at it. All right, so nothing else changes. We have a database, we have our 0MQ. Now, again, using 0MQ to deliver this, or we could use, if we're using Java, we could use Hibernate. It's probably the most logical, because this is just, let's say that's Java and that's Java into a database. We're using Hibernate. So let me just put that. It's not really a queue. So it's Hibernate, which is a Java ORM. And this part here would be delivered by Hibernate. So if it's Java, 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 and then there's end Hibernate as well if I wanted for .NET between the C#, which we could probably do it through another .NET API or framework. So that's what we could do for a fully automated trading system live, with live data. Now, this is as fast as you're going to get. In terms of, let's say, and we're talking a very high or very low probability, at least in the very short term, to go high frequency trading, low probability. Your account's got to be big, and you know, to build it up to that level would take probably a good couple of years. And if I did, I'd probably take an early retirement if I could. But that's how I'm envisioning everything, because we've got this working. I've done this before using SQL Server. I've played with Postgres. These pieces still need to be built out, the communication between the two. The trade manager works. The MATLAB algorithm, that's obviously the big step, the big piece of the puzzle to get it profitable, get this whole thing profitable, so we can have our Ferraris and, as Wall Street guys would say, the pimp and hoe lifestyle. So that's how we see it. I'm hoping this works out. Let me know what you think. And the pieces that still need to be built out are the Hibernate, this communication piece here. This piece needs to be done using the proper schema. So the schema I'm looking at for the database would be whatever this is, to be ported into SQL Server or Postgres. And then these pieces will connect into it. This already works from Trade Manager. I got to build that into Trade Manager. And of course the MATLAB, there's, like I said, a million different options. Now, that's fine and good. So let's go all crazy. Let's say machine learning becomes the real trendy thing. All right, so nothing really changes right now, but there is an application that I have been watching. We'll just call it Syncfusion. All right, and if you, I know nothing about it, but if I'm going to use the same approach as MATLAB, with Syncfusion, you could probably build a model in machine learning, again using risk management and all that as part of it, and just substitute MATLAB or have it in parallel, working with the same architecture. I think for me, this is the simplest way of doing things, but if you're new at it, this is probably pretty daunting. But this is how systems are built out. I'm sure there's other pieces I'm forgetting about or missing or something. But hey, if you see anything, let me know. I thought I'd just share this idea, and hopefully we'll get it up and running sooner than later with a working model. And I'm kind of have in my head 2 or 3 strategies that I'd like to build for this type of system, and everything can be scalable. So we're gonna have multiple clients, or this can handle multiple strategies. I can easily add as many assets I want on the listener that will push all that data into the database. And then again, of course, the Infogistics is quite good at handling multiple assets. Lightning charts is an interesting one because that's more for prettiness. Again, I don't know how practical it is, but it will be very useful to look at more from a visual point of view. Really interesting ways to look at the market that I guarantee you've never seen before. So that's what we're looking at. I'm hoping this helps you out. And again, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later.